Hey everyone, Steven here, and today I'm looking at the NTF94 floodlights from Novostella. Let's get into these specs first, and then I will showcase the remote and the different features that this has. The total wattage here is 60 watts, and this has 6 total floodlights. The max luminous flux is 5400 lumen. Input voltage is AC 100 to 240 volts. For color, you have full RGB and warm white. For the warm white, the color temperature is 2700 K. For the frequency, this is 50/60 Hertz. Waterproof rating is IP66, so this can be outdoors, it just can't fully be submerged underwater. This is controlled by an RF remote control. This does not have an app, which makes it different than the other floodlights that I've reviewed in the past. You only have the remote to control this with. Operating temperature here is -20 to 40 degrees Celsius, which is -4 to 104 degrees Fahrenheit. So you're seeing me tie up right there the connector that goes between each of the floodlights, and these are all waterproof or water sealed. For the physical features here though, between the power adapter and the first light, you have 3 meters or 10 feet, and then the same distance between each light. On the bottom, you have that little swiveling bracket, and that is where you will connect the ground stick. And you do have an extra ground stick as well as the screw and washer for that. So just in case any of these break, you do have the extra there, but this is plastic. So it makes it lighter and it is easy to fit into the ground. It won't bend like a metal one would, but it will break potentially. But again, you have that extra just in case. So setup is probably like 5 to 10 minutes to screw all of these in, but you don't actually have to use the sticks if you don't want to. Any of those openings, specifically the 2 on the outside of where I'm putting the ground stick here, you could actually drill this into something if you wanted to, which is actually what I'm gonna do with this after I've completed just the showcase here in my yard. I'm actually gonna set these up in my training studio where they're gonna be cool lights on the wall. So you can put these indoors or outdoors. With that all being said though, I'm going to finish this up right here. We're going to switch over to the backyard and I will showcase me cycling through all the different lighting effects. And with this, I will have an image of the remote down towards the corner so I can kind of point out what I'm doing here. Do keep in mind, I want to reiterate, this only works with a remote. There is no app, there is no programming for this, just the remote. So starting here, up in the top, you have the on-off switch, and then there's actually like a play-pause button. So with any of the lighting effects that are cycling through different colors, you could always pause them at any moment. So up at the top, we have the primary colors, red, green, blue, and white. And then underneath that are all your secondary colors. They're not labeled in the user manual with this, and I don't know if they're gonna follow the same naming scheme as like if you just Googled like secondary or tertiary colors here, but you have all of those. And then underneath those colors, you get to increase or decrease the brightness. And this has 5 levels to it. And that's something that I'm gonna showcase here in a second. Underneath that, you have the 3 and 6 hour timing that you can do with this. So this right now is me just going through those 5 cycles, right? So you can go all the way up and then you can go all the way down. And once it caps out, it'll just stay there. You don't get to, it doesn't give you any notification that it can't do anything else than that. But underneath that, you have the 3 hour and 6 hour time interval that you could set. But that is it with this, just these 2. Again, no access to an app, so you don't get to adjust it beyond that. Next to that is speed, and you can go down in speed or up in speed. And then you have your first line of different lighting effects. So we have jump, fade, smooth, and strobe. So it's going to be a little bit hard for me to keep up with which one I'm pressing because I didn't film this as I was directly doing it. But with this, I'm going to adjust the speed on most of these, where I'm going to showcase, hey, what does this look like when you're slowing this down and then when you are speeding it back up. Strobe is an interesting one too, because that, depending on whether or not you have the sensitivity to it, but it definitely looks like one I would use with Halloween decorations and things like that. So between like different parties or events or things like Halloween, they have a huge amount of lighting effects. This would be the strobe right here, but they have a huge amount of lighting effects just on this remote. Definitely reminds me of what I would find on a remote that I get with an LED light strip. So this right here was rainbow for a second, and now we're getting the chase. But again, I'm adjusting the speed to this as well. So this is going to be chase with the speed all the way up, and then I'll switch over here in a second to flow. But it does have a good amount of effects that you get here. The downside is that with an app, you generally get to create your own and do certain things like that. You won't get that with this. It is more for people that don't want to deal with an app. And I've been in that situation sometimes where it's like, hey, I don't want to mess with this app, but you're forced to because there is no other option. So if you are in that boat, I think this is a great option for you. Again, no need to ever mess with an app. The downside would be, yes, you do lack some level of customization here, and then you don't get certain things that an app would provide, like more control over the timer, setting different schedules. So if you wanted this to turn on at night every single night, you would actually have to remotely go out there and do that every single time. So I think this is just geared more towards certain people that are doing events or parties, or maybe you're utilizing them inside for your setup, whatever it may be. Like, I'm going to take these again up to my training facility and use them there. I think there is a huge plus to this product versus one that needs an app, because once I bring this up to the office, I don't want to have to mess with an app. I just literally want to come in, turn it on with a remote, and then set it and forget it. So this is going to be a really good option for that. The other customization side here, you don't get to adjust anything outside of the strobe. That one you can change the color. None of the other ones you can, and that's towards the end here what I'm trying to figure out, because I know it said that in the manual. I just wanted to confirm for myself. You press the color and then you press strobe, and then it will strobe that light. That's the only level of customization for the presets that you do get here. For those presets, by the way, they all change among 7 colors. So not all the colors that are available at the top, just 7 of them. So in regards to this product, I think this is a really solid product if you need something that, again, doesn't have an app or other things that you need to worry about. It's just a remote, set it, forget it, walk away, and you get to use it based off the given context that may change, right? Again, maybe I could use it for a party, I could use it for Halloween, I could set it up in my studio and just use that remote, never have to worry about an app here. If you do need those other things like adjustments to the presets, I need to set a schedule so it turns on at night, things like that, you're gonna wanna look at a different product because this just doesn't have that option here. Now the regular price of this is $99. The discounted price right now is $89, and there's a $25 off coupon, so you can get this for $65, which is a really, really good price for any floodlights, especially when you're getting 6 of them. There's also a 4-pack version as well if you wanted to go with something that has less lights, isn't quite as powerful. So that's going to wrap this video up. Novostella has delivered another solid lighting option here. I've used a bunch of their different products in the past. I have 2 of the really large floodlights that I used during Halloween, as well as the outdoor LED light strip that is on the porch. And with this, you have the easy install with the stakes and everything, plus the different options that you have. If you didn't want to mount this in the ground, you can mount it up on something. You have the ease of use with the remote, and these get extremely bright. I'll have a link for this in the description if you want to pick it up. If you have any questions about this, let me know in the comment section. I will make sure to answer that for you there. If you like the video, hit the like button for me as it helps the channel out. If you want to continue to follow along with all my content, hit the subscribe button for me. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.